Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to our international symposium, Bali, the Journey of Heart, today, Friday, June 2nd, 2023. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to say the utmost gratitude toward God for letting us together into this event with good and stable state of health. I'm Eka Mahadewi, lecturer from Bali Tourism Polytechnic, as the chairwoman of this international symposium. And this symposium was made possible thanks to the initiative of Dr. Reza Soltani from Tourism Webinar in collaboration with UNWTO. It is such an honor to welcome you here in this event. Our event today divided into 3 agendas. First, welcoming and opening by Head of Bali Tourism Authority, Bapak Cok Bagus Pemayung. And second agenda, as a main session of the International Symposium, led by Dr. Bridget Rower from Australia, and also presentation from speakers with question and answer. And for the last session, the third question, closing with a conclusion. Now we go to our first agenda, welcoming speech from Head of Bali Tourism Authority, Mr. Cok Bagus Pemayung. Before his speech, I would like to introduce him, Pak Cok, as a head of Bali Tourism Authority. He worked for government in tourism in Bali, especially he started already almost 28 years in tourism industry. He graduated from University of Udayana in Diploma for Tourism and his Magister in Tourism in Management. Well, I think Pak Cok drive his experience in tourism sector and also in government for many years. And now time is yours, Pak Cok, to present and welcoming the symposium of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bu Eka Mahadewi.
Please, Pak Cok, for welcoming and opening the webinar.
Okay. The Honorable the former Secretary General UNWTO, Mr. Caleb Rifai, the Honorable Chairman Pacific Asia Travel Association, Mr. Peter Simon, Ibu Bu Eka bisa dengar suara
Yes,
saya?
we can hear you.
Silakan.
Bu
Jelas,
Eka,
Pak.
bisa dengar suara saya?
Clear, Pak, clear.
Okay.
Jelas, Pak. Silakan lanjut, Pak.
The Honorable the former Secretary General UNWTO, Mr. Dr. Caleb Rifai, the Honorable Chairman Pacific Asia Travel Association, Mr. Peter Simon, the Honorable President World Tourism Network, Mr. Jordan Stenmetz, Dr. Bridget Treasure as a moderator, distinguished speaker participant, ladies and gentlemen, Om Swastiastu. May the Almighty God bless us all. On this special chance, I would like to thank the organizing committee for organizing this international symposium. I'm sure it will support our goals to good tourists for develop sustainable and quality tourism in Bali. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, meanwhile, recently, many negative news being viral in the social media about foreign visitor has violated law or against culture local norms, such as riding motorbikes without proper safety tools, walk in Bali without walking visa, their tourist visa or stay permit, doing business without any legal document, foreign tourists with Bali ID, and many negative acts that will influence Bali destination reputation to be bad or decline. And we all understand tourism is a reputation dependent industry. On demand side, When travel does not have previous experience or never visited the destination before, they surely face certain risks to decide their travel choices. A good perception of the destination reputation helps to minimize the unsatisfactory of travel experiences. Of the supply side, a good reputation will give a positive benefit to the destination, such as get visitor, investment, and skilled human resources. When tourists have a great holiday, they will prize the destination, telling friends and family about the marvelous time they have had and what an amazing place to visit. Likewise, when they don't have such a good experience, they run the destination down, saying bad things and criticizing the destination as a result their poor experience. Business participant, ladies and gentlemen, to cope with those negative patiental rise as harming Bali destination reputation, Bali government of Bali province has immediately formed a special task force with include police and immigration officer, event custom village institution. This task force member will later supervise, handle foreign tourism, and take action against foreign visitor who disturb public order or violate Indonesian law. The government and law enforcement officer need to strengthen effort to take firm action. So far, the immigration office in Bali has done firm action against tourists who violate immigration rules. Many tourists have been deported to their countries as a proof of government's commitment because the problem of foreign tourists in Bali that have not been resolved can affect the interest of tourists from other countries who really want to visit Indonesia. I'm sure all related institutions in Bali have strong commitment to protect Bali as our beautiful, safe, and friendly yet respect the low destination. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, this is my brief speech. I wish fruitful result for today's seminar. Hopefully, hopefully it will support Bali destination reputation to be sustainable with good tourist behavior and quality tourism. Om Santi, Santi, Santi Om. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry as cannot join the seminar until finish because I have to attend their meeting that cannot be represented by others. However, there are some staff of mine are still standby in this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Chok, for your kind welcoming address to our speakers and participants, and also give us the Bali tourism update from the government perspective. Thank you very much again. And as Pak Chok mentioned, his staff will still have enough time to stay with us, and we are really appreciative. Now we go to the next agenda, the second agenda. Main session of the International Symposium by speakers with their presentation, question and answer. Main session will lead by Dr. Bridget Trouwer. I would like to share her profile. Dr. Bridget Trouwer holds a PhD in tourism management from the University of Queensland, Australia, conceptualizing special interest tourism. Her last journey is replete with extensive experiences in the field of leisure, travel, and tourism, both in industry and academia, and not to forget the adventure that is life. Bridget has worked in higher education in some other countries, Canada, England, Germany, New Zealand, and the United Arab Emirates. Now, here we come, Dr. Bridget Trouwer. as a moderator from Australia. Time is yours, Dr. Bridget.
Thank you, Dr. Eka, and welcome to everyone. Quite excited to be here today with such an amazing panel of speakers and everybody else who is tuned in. Just as a quick summary, it was lovely to hear the brief introduction just then, which highlighted to me that travel and tourism is all about experiences, yes, but it is also all about relationships with people, place, and planet Earth. And I think that's what the whole webinar today will all be about. And I think, you know, just to go ahead, this theme for the today's was just said before. I would like to specifically welcome all the speakers here today, who I will address very shortly, very briefly, might I add, though, because there's so many of us here today, or you, I will not be a speaker. And as always, our welcome also goes to the thousands watching on our website and also other social media platforms, including YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And yes, also thank you, Reza, Dr. Reza Sultani, for once organizing this webinar. Cannot forget that. And once again, welcome and thank you for Dr. Talib Rifai to be present here again today, for honoring us with your presence. Now, I might start off briefly to make one point, and that is that I'm actually delighted to have been asked to moderate here today and to step in and take actually Professor Steve Noakes' place, who was originally planned to be the moderator for this webinar today. Unfortunately, he is not available today and he sends his apologies. I might add also, and while I am an Australian, just like Steve and also Professor Noel Scott, who will be talking later on. Hi, Noel. Lovely to see you here later. You might hear I do not speak with an Australian accent. I am originally from Germany and I have never managed to really master the Aussie accent. So bear with me with the way I speak. And that means also pronouncing all the Indonesian names. I apologize in advance. Now, Professor Steve Noakes sent us a very wonderful video and also a message. The video, however, we cannot play, and I'd like to ask everyone to go to Tourism Webinar website and look at it in your own leisure time. Now, I would like to, however, briefly read out something that Steve sent to us to just give you an idea of his relevance here as well. Now, Professor Steve Noakes is a team leader of the Project Management Support Unit within the large-scale Indonesia Tourism Development Project. And he's also the chair of Eco-Lodges Indonesia. He's a long-standing ecotourism pioneer with lodges adjacent to protected areas in Sumatra, Kalimantan, and Flores. The company used to have lodges in Bali as well, as it is usually the gateway and departure place for customers of Eco-Lodges Indonesia. All lodges have a strong commitment to empowering local communities to contribute to and benefit from biodiversity conservation at local level. Now, Stephen makes the point that the short video he sent in is one approach to sustainable tourism in Indonesia, which is a very major underpinning topic of today's webinars. So another point that I'd like to raise and another message we received, and this one is actually from Professor Wolfgang Alt. He will also be joining the next webinar. Now, Professor Alt sent out this message for Bali. The development of China's outbound tourism to Bali is a good example for the danger involved in concentrating on arrival numbers as the main KPI in tourism. For a sustainable development of tourism in the future, the interests of all stakeholders, visitors, local communities, employees, service providing companies, governments, and the environment, aka future generations, must be taken into account. Without benefits and satisfaction for all, tourism does not work. We call that meaningful tourism, a tool for destinations and companies we have developed during the years of the pandemic. And I could not agree more with his words here. And I think we'd like to bear that in mind as we listen to the speakers coming up. Before I do introduce all the speakers, I do have to go through a couple of so-called housekeeping points. To start off with, given the challenge of cyberspace and the speakers located around the world, we might of course be confronting some technical challenges along the way. However, given the overall time frame of only 90 minutes available for the presentations today, each speaker has only about 5 minutes for sharing their insights and thoughts. The overall time available thus for webinars is generally 120 minutes, and we hope to have left some time after all the speakers for Q&A. So please hold on to your thoughts until then and make a note of them accordingly. You can actually make comments along the way on the Zoom chat area, so don't forget there. To conclude, it's actually Dr. Ecker who will conclude today's webinar before we say goodbye. Okay. Also, I would like to point out that anyone can access the webinar, this one, and all other previous ones, including any PowerPoint presentations and any other information on tourismwebinar.com the day after tomorrow, actually, and also the profiles of the speakers, which will remain actually on the website forever. So you can always revisit tourismwebinar.com. I will also introduce the speakers as we progress through the program very shortly. And I'd like to highlight, because of the immense background and complex background that each one brings into today's webinar, I will only introduce by name and title, and again highlight for everyone to visit Tourism Webinar to explore the profiles in more detail for you. So thank you for that. Now, one point I think is very important to highlight, given the topic of sustainability and tourism and the words just that we heard before, we are running very shortly on the 8th of June another webinar entitled Bad Tourist Behavior. We believe this to be of relevance not only actually to Bali, but to places called travel destinations in the world of travel and tourism, rather than homes of people that live there. So don't forget, anybody here today, if you want to pass that on, that is happening on the 8th of June. Now, with all of that in mind, Riza and I and Dr. Ecker will try our best to coordinate everything today. Hopefully everything will go smoothly. Right, so let me introduce the speakers for today, who, again, as I said, I pronounce the names correctly, starting with the Indonesian ones. The first speaker will be Dr. Gusti Kade Sutaba, who is the president of Nabasita Pariwisata Indonesia. He's also called Bapak Guste, I've been told by Dr. Ecker. Thank you very much. The second speaker will be Mr. Putu Vinastra, head of Asita Bali. And again, I've been told, called Bapak Putu. Third speaker will be Dr. Nimade Eka Madevi, who is obviously the chairwoman today. Fourth speaker from the Indonesian contingent is Ms. Ratna Eka Soebrata, part of Bali and Nusa Tenggara chapter. Again, I've been told to address her with Ibu Ratna. Thank you very much, everyone. And I look forward to all the presentations there. The following speakers after that will be Dr. Talib Rifai, and most of us do know him as a former Secretary General of the United Nations. And again, I don't need to introduce him very much there. If you want to, please go to his profile. The following speaker there will be Mr. Peter Simona, President of Qatar. And we might find that we cannot connect with him. And I believe, Reza, we have a video there for him that we can play. Speaker after that, as already alluded to earlier, will be Professor Noel Scott. He's Professor for Tourism Management Sustainability Research Centre in Australia. And again, he has a broad and immense background like many of us here. So looking forward to your presentations, you know. And how can we not forget, already spoken to Jürgen Steinmetz, who is the president of World Tourism Network and holds other positions in the domain of travel and tourism, extensive background. Again, please do look on to his web profile on Tourism Network. And last speaker will be Professor Jeffrey Lippman, who we have included short notice. And I'm delighted actually to welcome you, Professor Lippman, particularly given the latest research that you will be presenting on that was done on Bali with a proposed framework of green tourism. Very much looking forward to that. At the end of all of that will be the Q&A session and then the closing by Dr. Ecker. Any questions that you will have, please hold on to the end of the session. So may I ask for the first speaker to take the floor, please.
Bapak Gusti.
Sorry, can you hear me at all? Sorry.
Yeah, Bapak Gusti, the first speaker.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I was waiting for this. Thank you.
Very good. So can I start now?
Yes, please.
Okay, I do share screen now. So my time is 5 minutes.
If we can leave it as that, or 10 next.
Okay, the title of my presentation is Bali Sustainable Tourism, Government Regulation and Stakeholder Participation. This is Bali orientation of sustainable tourism development. We are concerned about the socio-cultural continuity, economic continuity, and ecological sustainability. So this is the focus of tourism of Indonesia. So from nature 35%, culture 60%, man-made 5%. Tourism is the main sector of Bali development, and then we are supporting a lot for income of tourism. So 50% is coming from Bali to Indonesia. Total is about $20 million US dollars per year. So it means that Bali has become the biggest spot for economic from tourism for Republic of Indonesia. Cultural tourism of Bali based on the value of Hindu religion is according to the local regulation number 2, 2012. This is the various cultural object tourism in Bali according to the research from Ardika 2004. Is archaeological, architecture, arts, sculpture, craft, culture festival, music, drama, theater, film, language, literature, religious ceremonies, traditional culture. And this is the situation now, the update. At the moment, 92 countries already have visa on arrival facilities for Bali, direct to Bali. 36 airlines have direct flight to Bali compared to situation before COVID. It's about 40, more than 40 airlines. The average occupancy rate for star-rated hotel in Bali is 65% at the moment. Bali economic growth in the first quarter 2023 was 6%. Is very happy because this figure is higher than national average. The number of foreign tourist arrival from January to April was 1.4 million people. So to achieve sustainability, quality, and dignified Bali tourism, the Governor of Bali is issued a circular letter. I think just now we heard already from the head of Bali Tourism Authority, because some problem also with visitors who visit Bali. Some of them is action is not respecting our culture, etc. Also the law. The contents of the school letters are as follows. I will quick read. Oblige foreign. So the tourists should oblige the number one, glorify the sanctity of temple, sacred effigy, and religious symbol that must be purified. So this is do and don'ts actually. Yeah? So they have to do this one, and then also they do some. Earnestly respect the custom, tradition, art, culture, ceremonies, wear polite, reasonable, and appropriate clothing. We have politely in sacred area, accompanied by tour guide when seeing the tourist attraction. Perform foreign currency in the authorized money changer. Make payment with Indonesian standard QR code. Conduct transaction in rupiah currency. Drive in compliance with laws and regulation.
that apply in Indonesia, including having a valid international driving license, orderly traffic on the road, dress modestly, wear a helmet, follow the traffic sign, do load passenger beyond capacity, and are not under the influence of alcoholic, preferred or illegal drugs, using official four-wheel usable transportation or two-wheel transportation under the auspicious business entity of two-wheel transportation rental association. Stay at the place of accommodation that is permitted in accordance with the provision of laws and regulation, comply with all special provision rules that apply in each tourist attraction and tourist activity. This is the don'ts. Yeah? Entering part of the main holy places such as temple, except for the purpose of praying, by wearing traditional Balinese clothing or prayer clothes, and not in a state of menstruation. So it's not allowed to climb the sacred tree. We have feared that the sacred holy places, temples, sacred religious effigy, and religious symbols such as climbing sacred building and take photos with immodest clothes, without clothes, littering and polluting lakes, spring, rivers, seas, and public places, using single-use plastic such as styrofoam, utter harsh words, behave impolitely, make noise, and act aggressively towards state official government, local communities, and fellow tourists, direct or indirectly through social media, such as spreading hate speech and fake information or hope. Work and carry out business activities without having official document issued by the competent authority, engaging in illegal activities such as selling or export flora, fauna, artifacts, sacred objects, buying and selling illegal goods, including illegal drugs. Well, I also would like to share the direction of policies and regulation of the provincial government of Bali with the vision of Nangun Satkerti Loka Bali, maintaining the sanctity and harmony of Bali nature and its content to create prosperous and happy Balinese life based on local wisdom valued Satkerti. What is Satkerti? Satkerti means six philosophy. So as follows: Makirti, purification and glorification of soul, purification, glorification of the coast and sea, purification and glorification of water sources, purification and glorification of plant, purification and glorification of mankind, purification and glorification of the universe. Sadkritis means six sources of well-beings and happiness in life. This is talking about Subak. Subak is a Balinese traditional water system organization. So this is tourism ecological potential. So why this is important, this concern, because every year there is become less and less the rice field can be action or can be managed by farmer, because chains become the accommodation place, yeah, sell by the owner of the land. So this is very important for sustainable tourism development. Because Subak is based on the Trihita Karana philosophy, the commitment from all stakeholders to save Subak, especially to reduce the function of agricultural land into tourism accommodation. Several district heads in Bali have waived taxes on paddy field. This is the stakeholders' inputs to government. So master plan blueprint for Bali tourism must be reviewed every 5 years to adapt the current situation. In some areas, infrastructure route must be made so that there are no traffic jam, yeah? And many passages are made to break down traffic jam during high season and peak season. Research for carrying capacity accommodation to find the amount of accommodation needed from time to time to afford our supply. Provide cheap, comfortable, fast public transportation that connects cities in Bali can go around Bali in short time. This is the government, what government support from government from central government for Bali tourism. Number one, the tourism marine hub in Benoa. So many crews now coming through this harbor. Denpasar Singaraja cut route to shorten the distance from Denpasar to Singaraja. That one is toll or bypass of the Mungwi Gilimanuk. West Bali will start soon. Turia Pada Tower will be finished the construction the end of this year in north of Bali. The new harbor of Sanur, Nusa Ceningan, Nusa Penida, International Hospital in Sanur, Balinese Culture Center in Klungkung, Paramount Recreation Center at Jembrana, West Bali, and International at Serangan Island University. Okay, this is the in developing sustainable tourism. So all stakeholders must be involved. Yeah? The private sector, organization, government, local community, NGO, media, so to make sure the sustainability is there. So increase in social economic welfare, social cultural ambitions, environmental preservation. So this is the stakeholders meeting with the governor. So, government of Bali facilitated the meeting of stakeholders. Local regulation supporting Bali sustainable tourism. So beside the project, the government actually also doing writing, regulation in writing. So call it Pergub or Perda, mean local regulation issued by the governor. So there are some like the single-use plastic disposal restriction, the use of traditional Balinese custom, clothing, yeah, the Balinese clothing, standard of implementation, Balinese culture tourism, Bali tourism governance, and the marketing utilization of agriculture, fishery, and local industrial product, organic farming system, contribution of tourists to the protection of natural environment and culture of Bali, source-based waste management, protection of lake, spring, rivers, and seas. So this all Perda or Pergub local regulation is issued by Governor of Bali. If you want a complete one, you can contact me later because I'm also the tourism expert for Governor of Bali. Why Bali is become the most popular and best tourism destination, and why Balinese always happy and friendly to visitor or to tourists. Number one, it has become a culture that Balinese are very friendly and always respect the guests. Balinese people believe in the law of karma. If you do good, you will have good luck. Balinese also believe in religious teachings. Yeah, in some holy book, yeah, Bhagavad Gita, call it. You can read it. The Balinese also believe and practice the philosophy of Trita Karana, yeah, harmonious relationship with God, human, and nature. The majority of Balinese are not ambitious in pursuing worldly pleasures because they believe that all human will eventually die, and it's very important to do good things while still alive. Balinese people also believe in and carry out religious teachings, namely Trikaya Parisuddha, namely thinking good, saying good, and doing good, and others. The conclusion: to ensure the sustainability of Bali tourism, higher quality and dignified tourism, so need the cooperation and coordination, and also need the government and all stakeholders to be help each other and giving an input each other and helping each other. The government of Bali must save Balinese traditional irrigation organization because there are 10 of hectares of paddy field every year into tourist accommodation and tourism area. We believe that Bali tourism will be sustainable because Bali has strong culture and life principle that are based on the philosophy of Trita Karana, the laws of religious teachings. Yeah. With the many violations by foreign tourists in Bali lately, both regarding custom, Balinese culture, traffic, and existing laws, the government issued the circular for foreign tourists. Yeah, it's a circular letter. Yeah, for foreign tourists. We hope that after this circular letter enacted, it can suppress yeah,
I'm
violation.
sorry, Dr.
Thank-
Gusti,
enough.
would you
Thank you.
That's
please
enough. Yeah, that's
Thank-
enough.
try to round up?
Thank you very much.
Maybe in 30 seconds or so. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
enough. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Bapak Putu. I was going to ask you in a minute. Just a little comment. Thank you very much, Reza. We do have to watch our times a little bit, if I may just remind everybody of it. And thank you for that very comprehensive presentation. It obviously touched on all the various concepts of sustainability and karma and peace, actually. And that reminded me of the notions of, carrying capacity and limits of acceptable change. And with that, actually, I always say, is it not about caring capacity that we are also looking at, perhaps? Just a thought of mine there. All right, thank you once again very much for that. The second speaker, if I may now ask for Bapak Putu to take the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Bridget, for the time. And let me show you our presentations. Ibu. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to be a part of the speaker in this international symposium. So our presentation today is with the title Bali, the Journey of the Heart. Next slide. So next. Well, I would like to give you the view of the Bali tourism from time to time. Start from the 20. It is the first arrival of the real tourists on Bali. And after that, on the 60, a low point of the tourism and first 5-star hotel in Bali, which is located in Sanur. And the next phase of Bali tourism development was when the Asian African Conference took place in 1960, where the President Sukarno also invited world leaders to come to Bali. And then in 70s, young EPs were in Bali as a tourist, and this became also very popular for those who coming to Bali and stay in Kuta. In 1980 and 1990, golden age of the Bali tourism. And on that era, is everybody want to work in the tourism industry rather than they work in the government offices. And in 2000s, we have a problem with the bomb blast. Therefore, the Bali was shocked. And after that, in 2010, will be the Bali recovery. Again, in 2020, we also have a problem with the COVID strike. But let's talk about ASITA. What is ASITA? ASITA is the Associations of Indonesian of Tour and Travel Associations of Indonesia. Bali is one of the chapter among the 34 chapter in Indonesia, with the member until now is 440 members, but after COVID, we still have only 250 members. It means half of our members are still closed because of the COVID. In Bali, majority of our members, they are doing inbound, and we are focusing into 11 market division, such as European, Asian, Middle Eastern, etc. And you see, in 2022, Bali was appointed as the best island in the world by the leisure from the United States, because Bali and culture and tradition, religion impact almost every aspect of life on the island and draw people to Bali and to see. And also the most important point is to experience the Bali culture. And you see by numbers, the visit of the tourists to Bali until 2023 now is 1,400,000 something. It means that Bali is not recovery yet comparing to the situation before COVID. Next. What is happening now in Bali? Certainly, due to digitalization, Bali are known by everyone all over the world. And the problem with digitalization is we also facing a lot. Beside that, we also have a problem with the price war, environment pollution, as what Mr. Guste mentions. And lately, we have a bad tourist behavior. Therefore, the government creating the new regulation in order to implement law enforcement. So I think with those case that we have lately in Bali, we have to discuss more wise in order Bali is become recovery and then to be the best destination in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Bapak Putu, for your wonderful insights into the history and the present day aspects of Bali tourism. Just again highlights, historically, Bali has always been attractive to tourists, opening the hearts and the doors to everyone who likes to visit, and that's lovely. And it shall remain like that, hopefully. May I ask the next speaker then, and if I may call out Dr. Eka, please, if you would like to go ahead and share your lovely presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Bridget, for the time. Short time, 5 minutes only, because Dr. Guste already takes
I'm sorry.
minutes. Well, now we talk about Bali as the journey of heart. Heart means love, joy, peace, and also enlightenment. So I see, we can see from perspective theoretical and applied science. Our topic about the journey of heart, and then I will describe about the Bali as a destination of peace and how to create Bali as a peace destination. And then I use some theoretical and applied science to describe Bali as how to design Bali as a peace destination. We have some references related to journey of heart from tourism and leisure studies. They're talking about the spiritual tourism, and then other references talking about journey to heart, also from hotel, also from tourist destination, and then some research from talking about from head to heart tourism research journey. And then this is the short video I would like to say.
Happiness is peace. It's not pleasure, right? And everybody thinks happiness is trying to get as much pleasure as you can get. There is nothing more agitating to your mind than extreme pleasure, right? It's like peace.
Well, our question: what is people's final goal to traveling? As the TikTok mentioned, tourist visit destination with a purpose to find happiness. Happiness is peace. So now we're talking about Bali as a journey of heart, how to create Bali as a peace destination.
Happiness is peace. It's not pleasure.
Well, this is the data. Why do people travel to Bali? Some data show that people come to Bali because of the culture, environment, food, culinary, and creative industry. And then I will go to another slide. This is the model how to create Bali in the future from perspective of quality tourism and quantity tourism, and also from perspective of planning and marketing, and also for the applied of the theoretical and applied science, how to create Bali in the future to be a wellness tourism destination, experiential tourism destination, green and sustainable destination, food culinary tourism destination, and also as a peace destination with the quantum tourism approach or perspective. and Pak Gusde already mentioned about Trihita Karana and also about the 6 pillar of Bali government program. So I will mention about this topic again. Well, as we know, of the Global Happiness Index, the data shown about the world top 20 happy countries. But how about the island? Bali have award as a happiest destination in the world. So if we talk about the islands, Bali one of the happiest destination in the world. We use the perspective of the theoretical and others references. And now we use a heart vibration scale. Where is the position of peace? As we know from this scale, peace have 600 hertz of the frequency. It's mean that peace above than love, above than joy. So peace is our concern, how to create Bali as a destination. And then also enlightenment. Here we try to implement Hertz vibration scale to our condition in Bali, and why we develop our destination to be a peace destination. And this is the level of peace destination. The destination for peace is higher than love and joy. It is mean that the peaceful destination can be created and realized after the feeling of love and joy. This is the position of the peace on the Hertz vibration scale. And then this is the theoretical approach from the Einstein's theory. So I think we have talked more about this in another time. Yeah, making impossible to possible. And then this is the Einstein note that God does not play this with the universe. It's mean that from this theory, Einstein mentioned that usually Einstein use physics as a certainty science, but when we talk about quantum tourism, we talk about uncertainty science, the invisible quantum physics. This is the model of the tourism system. I think it's the old system with the development, as Lipper said in 1979. And I try to develop a new quantum tourism system from Bali study case. Here I use the tourism system of Liver, and I implement some theories and applied research approach and figure out to quantum tourism system study case Bali for peace destination. This is the model of Liver. Tourist generating countries to tourist destination or receiving countries, and then the tourists have their self-awareness to go to destination, and then when they come to the destination, they will feel that Bali has a magical of Bali, or we call it as a tax to Bali. And then from this side, the tourists or people who come to Bali, we try, or we make sure that the people who come to Bali feel love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. From perspective Einstein, Lipper, Karatsias, Hertz, and also my research. And also, this is the Einstein quote, "Spooky action at a distance." This is the popular Einstein quote from physics quantum. I think that is the last our presentation about the quantum tourism, and this is the model I found out from the case of Bali as a peace destination with the approach of the Hertz theory, Lipper theory, and also Karatsias and Einstein theory. I think that's all. And then for the last, for our discussion, journey to Bali as a peace destination can start from heart, our love and joy. And then for the second, quantum tourism, it could be as a media to develop Bali as a peace destination to enlightenment. I think that's all. Dr. Bridget, time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ecker, for this presentation. And peace is very close to my heart, if I may say, judging by possibly also my book that I published, The Way of the Peaceful Traveller, Dare to Care and Connect. I couldn't agree more. Why do people travel to Bali? Seeking inner peace and outer peace. And you mentioned the word love. So many people say, I love to travel. And yes, I love Bali. But are we loving Bali to death? The big question that we obviously are addressing today. Thank you so much for that lovely presentation. May I ask the next speaker, please, Ibu Ratna, to share the beautiful insights of yours. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Bridget. Yeah, I will share my screen. 1 second. All right, since everybody talking about the tourism and what is coming up next, but I would like just to share about the regenerate tourism. We all agree that people has traveled across the globe, and some of them is not really only taking care of the good things, but also leave the bad things, right? So we don't want that to happen. So when you're talking about the preserving an environment, some of us will remember sustainable travel or eco-travel, but actually these two concepts are not enough to answer the anxiety. The reason is because two terms have the goal of preserving the environment, but do not include ways of solution and repair what has been damaged. Because of that, we need new concept that can be only provide the alternative in minimizing environmentally damage, but also how to fix it. The tourism concept, the most appropriate concept to be used in the time is because the regenerative travel is a tourism concept that aims not only to protect the natural resources, but also to participate in the renewing nature so that it can be regenerated damaged resources. When damage of the resources occur, we must be responsible for it. Although the government take part to fix the damage, but still, we are the tourism practitioners also take a charge. I just would like to share the example what happened in a fire in the mountains. This happened a long time ago. Just because Bali is one of the wedding destination and people like to take a pre-wedding photos or videos. They're using one of our mountains, and it was a dry season and very dry. The grass are really brown and dry. So one of the visitors just threw the cigarette butts, on the grass. And as soon as it happened, and of course the fire was then, So this is the damage that already produced by the visitors, which we don't want that to happen again. So we try very much to educate them that this is also dangerous, so not to take care of the nature. Okay, the various forms of the regenerative tourism, which are suitable, is the principles are the same, which is including the tourists also have the regenerative sense that needs to manage properly. And can be act as they are as a house, a sense of belonging as it is, as if that they are in their own country, although they are guests in our country. The togetherness also with the local society, quality, openness, and also implementing the system that oriented towards a continuous flow of improvement. Fix what need to be fixed, well, including the environmentally needed. So we need to have the principles of sustainability and regenerative tourism taken place to be implemented. Making rules for foreign tourists is important indeed. And it will be much more important if implemented or cultivated with all the people together with wisdom, immigrants, and even the host community, even for us in Bali. We need to have, Perhaps it should be noted that traveling an event is preserving the environment. Literally, the condition of the earth getting sadder, investigate the calibration. It turns out that traveling activities also contribute damage to the earth, especially in terms of amount of waste. Not to mention about finding the plastic bottles when you're climbing the mountains. I remember when I was young, I climbed the Mount Agung and I collect so many plastic bottles, you know. I hope it's not really happening now, but it was a long time ago. And so can you imagine that not all the tourists or even the local tourists, you know, try to adapt. So if we can ask our guests how they keep traveling without having to increase the amount of waste. Food waste, for example, when it goes to the landfills, you know, will cause the increase of the methane gas, whereby it's more dangerous for the human being. Methane gas is very dangerous, you know, once the food waste is collected even from the hotels or even from other area. And if they are not rescued, and then it's just go to the landfills, you know, which is not really good for us. And let's be a smart traveler. Bali, the journey of the heart. We need to keep our environment preserved. Clean beaches, of course, pristine waters. This is good for divers and also for snorkeling, you know, activities, you know, free from debris, embrace the culture, and let's save our Bali beautiful and serene. As Dr. Rika said, that you know, culture is more than 90%. Well, visiting Bali, you know, Bali is, you know, is beautiful, you know. I've been just share you a bit. I was in Mexico last month, and I introduced myself. I'm Ratna from Bali. They just remember Bali. They don't remember my name. Said hi Bali, hi Bali. You know, whenever I go to for dinner or for lunch or for coffee breaks, they always regard me as Bali, not Ratna. You know, but anyway, yeah, lovely to share with you, and thank you very much. And hope that we have to more educate tourists that preserve Bali as a beautiful destination as it is. Thank you, Dr. Bridget.
Another very passionate presentation, always a joy to listen to. Thank you very much. And yes, regenerative tourism, how can we not raise that particular topic? It is obviously all about a mindset shift, is it not, generally speaking? And I just like to always say when people ask me what regenerative tourism is all about, and I like to refer to Professor Susanna Becken's quote, it's about giving back. And
Yes.
perhaps that's what we have not really realized in our individualistic society. So thank you very much for that lovely presentation. We are coming to the conclusion of the Balinese segment, if I may call it that. And may I now draw on call in Dr. Talib Rifai, if you don't mind to share your thoughts at this point in time. Thank you, Talib.
Thank you so much, Bridget. Thank you. I hope my voice is clear and heard. Is it?
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. I just want to say hello from Amman, Jordan. I'm speaking to you from Jordan. And I was in Bali a few years ago. I visited Indonesia several times. I visited Bali only 2 times. Every time I visited, I feel all what's being said to be true. But what I interested me most is the guidelines of the governor of Bali with regard to what to do and what not to do. Well, I think it's very, very appropriate because tourists and visitors that come to a place, they must respect that place. They must have certain values to respect the people. They have to change, not the people. People don't have to change to please tourists. It's the tourists to change to please the local community, to learn from them. That's important to know because otherwise we will never learn from each other. Tourism is a very important element in peace building because we learn from each other. We rub shoulders with each other. You can never ever have a feeling of resentment or stereotype any population that you had dinner with and you had listened to their stories and to their needs. So peace is very important here. And I want to also say something about the environment because we heard so much from Mrs. Bali. I may call you so. Okay. About the environment. A few speakers spoke about that. Now, sustainability is not just about the environment. Sustainability is social, economic, and political sustainability. Sustainability is much more than just the environment, as important as that is, because the environment is very important. But it's not all about the environment. It's about how much does the community share of the benefits of tourism. how much does the community benefit from that? That's economic sustainability. Social sustainability is to preserve the culture of that place, to preserve the relationship between people and each other. And that we talked about in a minute. So I want to just say that it's important that we keep in mind that the governor's outline is very, very important. I wish more people around the world would adopt that. Bali is an example. Bali is a journey for the heart without doubt. I've been to Bali and I know what the Hindu culture is all about. And the population there are very, very, very kind population. I went to the mountains as well, not just to the beaches. In the mountains, there was beautiful sceneries and beautiful environment. Just want to say that. Thank you so much, Bridget. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure. So thank you very much for sharing those thoughts, which align very much with the previous presentations, and no doubt also with the ones following. I think, what stands out is, with a conflict perhaps between human-centric approach to tourism and travel and the ecological one, which we are obviously battling with as far as climate change is concerned. And I know that Professor Lippman will address that, and possibly Noel, you too. So thank you very much again for that presentation. The next speaker as such would be Mr. Peter Simon, the president of PATA. Now, Reza, I'm not sure, is he available, or would you need to play the video that he sent us in?
Maybe we can wait. He's in the tour in the mountains in Nepal, so his connection is not good, but okay, you're going to play, okay.
Well, I don't, but if you can, please.
He sent us a video, but in the case that is not here. Okay.
Om Swastiastu. Greetings from Pokhara, Nepal, where I'm attending the PATA Annual Summit and Adventure Mart. We just finished the event. It was fantastic, and we're about to go on tour. So if I don't participate in the Zoom call today, I do apologize. And I want to congratulate Reza and, of course, all of my friends from Bali and Dr. Talib and all the people that are joining today. Of course, Bali is a phenomenal destination. I know it well. My family lives there. My wife is Balinese, and it's a wonderful destination. There's a lot of challenges that Bali has right now in terms of dealing with the carrying capacity. And there's been discussions by the governor to even limit the number of people that can come. One of the ideas that I have is, if we're trying to make sure that tourists behave well, perhaps there should be some sort of a code of conduct that people sign when they arrive on the island, some sort of a pledge or a commitment. So, I think that would be a better way of going about it than what Governor Costa is saying, to limit the number, because it's very difficult to limit access to a place. Bhutan can do that, but that's a very different destination. So that would be my suggestion. So again, my deepest apologies for not being able to spend more time with you. I do hope that you have wonderful discussions, and I thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for playing that, Reza. I think what came clear out of that particular presentation by Peter, interesting enough, is the mention of pledges, which have actually been around for some time and applied in various destinations. And of course, there is the pledge for the Peaceful Traveller by the International Institute for Peaceful Tourism, which all alludes to what we're talking about today. So we should not forget that either. Various concepts to be applied when we're talking about how to deal with tourism management. Okay, after that presentation via video, Noel Scott, Professor Noel Scott from the Tourism Management Sustainable Research Centre in Australia. Welcome, Noel. The stage is all yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Birgit. Can you hear me? Great. Well, look, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk today, especially amongst the luminaries, the people who I've been speaking previously, both from Indonesia, but also from globally. And so Talib, it's wonderful for your comments, and Peter, Peter's comments, and Jeff's going to talk again. So well done. I want to make a few points, I suppose. One is we seem to be talking about quite a complex problem. It seems to be a problem that fits into a number of different boxes. And people perhaps might have talked about some of the characteristics of the problem or some issues, but there's a number of those things that have been identified. For example, we've talked about land use problems with irrigation and the sale of land for tourism development. We've talked about some issues of the behavior of tourists and their lack of respect for the religious principles in Bali. We've also spoken about some other issues which are more about the future. That is, perhaps in a marketing sense, we might be talking about these as the type of customers we want or what we want to offer customers in future: peace, love, and joy. So it's a complex problem, as all most tourism problems are. I'd like to think about two things about that problem. One is who's dealing with it, who's making the decisions, and then also how are they being communicated to people, okay? So clearly there are a number of stakeholders involved in this problem. There's the community, the industry, the government, academics, and so on. And there will be a variety of different opinions about how to deal with land use problems, how to deal with visitor transgression of rules, and also what position we should have in future. Now, I'm not sure exactly how those decisions are being made. This might be called a destination planning, destination visioning exercise, where all stakeholders agree on a future position. So we're seeing elements of that, certainly the communities involved in this problem, but I'm not sure how they are represented in the tourism planning decisions. And also, I'm not sure exactly how the government and the industry are communicating together. I'm sure it's very efficient, but so the governance structure, who's making decisions, how the various stakeholders' positions are being taken into account, and how decisions about the future of tourism in Bali is being done. It's a little bit uncertain to me. The second issue, of course, is communication of decisions. So in Australia, we do see messages in the newspapers and other ways of communication, public communication, and they're generally very negative about the rules and things that are being presented or coming from Bali. It's not that the rules are necessarily bad. I agree. I think that any culture and any place has the opportunity, should be implementing its policies and values and religious values and so on. The issue is how you communicate it to people. That's a second issue. And I don't see, it would appear to me that there are there are some techniques and things that could be used to better communicate these decisions. So I would suggest that there's a bit more of a structured process by which these important destination decisions are made, both about current problems of transgressions, involving local people in decisions, land use planning, and then moving on to communication to the world and positioning for the future. Very complex, but that requires quite a structure of governance within the destination, which I think it could be improved, as it could be in any destination. So I suppose those are my comments, Birgit. I agree that there's the problem. I agree that there is a need for respect of religious principles, and including the population beliefs in the tourism area. It's just, how do you do it? How do you organize it? How do you actually do stuff in an efficient way? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Noel, for your, again, very insightful comments. And what was really appreciated there is the fact that you raise the complexity that tourism is. And I always make the point too that actually tourism is a microcosm of society. So it exists within all of that. And, you know, we kind of forget that. And communication is a major component of any kind of relationship, whether that is within tourism or, you know, politics or any other context. So yes, the notion of communication, I think, would be something highly that needs to be addressed, and how we go about that, particularly given the multiplicity of the stakeholders involved. So thank you very much for that. That leads actually quite nicely into the next presentation, which is Jürgen Steinmetz. If you'd like to take the floor and give us your insights and considerations. Thank you very much for that, Jürgen.
Thank you, Birgit. And I have to say, I'm delighted to be here today out of many reasons. One, the most important reason for me is, as chairman of the World Tourism Network, I want to welcome and urge every one of you to attend our event in Bali. We have our first global summit, what will be taking place September 29th to October 1st. In Bali, and you find the information at time2023.com. So please join us. It's going to be interesting. We're going to cover a lot of subjects, and I'm personally so delighted to have this event in Bali, because literally my current part of my life and career started in Bali. eTurbo News started in Bali, and we started in Bali in 2001. When we were appointed by Pa Adhika, the minister at this time for tourism, to help with awareness in the United States, and with situations like some terror activities and other activities in Indonesia. We were trying to communicate, and we're getting here into the communication, a message to the travel industry in the United States about the geographics of Indonesia, how to really put this all in perspective, if travel advisories are really justified. So this was our really first task, and I agree, this hasn't changed. Communication is top important. Also communication between the stakeholders, what Dr. Noel said. We had this challenge back in 2000 when we were actually saw that the private sector really at that point didn't trust the government, and the government didn't trust the private sector. So we actually tried to work with ASITA and all these organizations, and started an organization, what is the International Coalition of Tourism Partners. And many years forward now, eTurbo News as a global publication, we always have our roots in Bali, and we don't forget this. And the International Coalition of Tourism Partners, through the detour of the Indonesian Coalition of Tourism Partners, went into the International Coalition of Tourism Partners with our President Jeffrey Lipman, who will speak after me, and is now part of the World Tourism Network, the same organization we're bringing now to Bali. But look, when we're talking about sustainability, Bali is always and always has been a very special place. It's called the Island of the God because it's so special. Cultural understanding is important for any destination, and always was important for Bali. But then you have other forces. I remember the time when the Hard Rock Hotel opened, Bali turned into a party city, and people are not or didn't come to Bali, to Kuta specifically, to explore the culture. They don't care, really didn't care about the culture. They cared about partying and having a good time. And where I live right now in Hawaii, we have the same issue. People going to Waikiki really don't care about the Hawaiian culture. Those that are going and explore other parts of Hawaii, those that wanted to explore other parts of Bali, these are the people that are conscious of everything we have discussed. And I think it's important to find this balance and possibly even divide this type of audience. We mentioned enforcement of laws and regulations. That is good. A tourism police is good. And, you know, my organization, we have trained a lot of tourism police in various countries around the world. And tourism police is really not a police that goes in there and arrests people. It's a police with friendly people that can adjust to cultures. There is the culture of those people that visit a destination, and then there is a culture of people that reside in a destination. And this culture many times in a destination where people reside is in a tourist destination like Bali is divided. You have areas like Kuta and Sanur. There are tourists, sophisticated tourist destinations. Culture is not on the foreground, maybe as much as it maybe still be in Ubud or in other parts of Bali. So all of this has to be put in perspective. And I fully agree, the focus should be not on over-tourism, but unfortunately, I don't think we can stop it. In Hawaii, we tried now to charge enormous fees for tourists to visit certain sites. So this is a discouragement. Perhaps that is an alternative, but education, of course, is something what a tourism board should always put on the forefront. Why not talk to airlines and have them show a short film about the culture, about what this destination is about before they land? And I know you cannot force airlines to do this, but I'm sure airlines would cooperate, and specifically the national carrier Garuda would do this. Well, these are just some thoughts, and I'm very happy to be here today. As I said, I'm just arrived in Mumbai in India, and I'm looking really forward to exploring Bali again. I went through all the different stages in Bali, including what was mentioned, the bomb attacks and everything else. And I feel for me, it's like almost like a second home, and I'm really ready to return. And anything we can do from communication, you got us. We're here. Thank you very much, Birgit.
A pleasure, Jürgen. Obviously, you're an expert in communication as far as the whole tourism industry is concerned, with your particular platform as well. Beautifully linked into what Noel just alluded to, the importance of education. As well, which is actually communication is entrenched in education, and because of multiple stakeholders there and the culture that we live in. You know, we live in a culture of entitlement, and unfortunately, as much as we do speak about the niche tourism markets or the special interest tourism market, cultural tourism, peace tourism, all of that, we are faced with mass tourism, with a lot of behavior that is actually entrenched in society per se. And it doesn't stop at home, it gets carried into tourist destinations, and that is obviously the challenge we are facing. So thank you for that. Right.
Before you get to the next thing, I forgot one important part.
Yes, please.
You mentioned it. It's niche tourism. Our organization, the World Tourism Network, is all about SMEs and small and medium-sized companies in the travel and tourism business. And I couldn't think about a better place than Bali, where there are opportunities, especially for small niche markets to explore. And these are the people we really want in a destination. These are people who are ready to explore different things. And that's why I'm really so excited we're bringing SMEs to Bali and communicate with SMEs in Bali to explore this niche market. Sorry about this, Birgit.
No, you're perfectly right with that one, if I may actually extend on that, because it is the destinations that offer the whole complexity of who they are, what they are, what is their essence. That is actually what attracts the tourists by concept in the first place. And that is what we're trying to maximize, and all the presentation have obviously spoken about that. So the niche tourism aspect that you say with WTN is very appropriate. I couldn't agree more with that. And yes, I'm looking forward to experiencing niche tourism and peace, particularly Bali, when I come at the end of September for the conference. So thank you. All right, last speaker.
Brigitte, sorry, I really need to go because I'm in a
Right.
conference at the moment. Thank you so much.
Yes,
But
no,
Thank you so
Erica is
much.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
Thank you.
here, and
Thank
we'll
you.
talk next time, hopefully
Yeah.
sometime.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, I saw Jeffrey just get up, but he's back again because the stage is all yours, Jeffrey, because you have so much to share. As I said, Professor Jeffrey Lippman will be the last speaker, and I'm really excited about what you're going to present and talk about. Your critical perspectives are always welcome, and particularly giving the latest research, I'm sure you will be drawing on in your presentation. So the floor is all yours, Jeffrey. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Brigitte. I probably can't live up to that introduction, and I actually got up to let my cat in through the window, and it will probably walk across the screen as I'm talking now. And before I say anything, it's just a pleasure to see my friend Taleb here, and to see you looking so well, Taleb. And hopefully we will see each other before one of us goes to meet the great tourism leader in the sky. And also Jürgen, always. We've done so many things together over the years, and to listen to your really focused thoughts, which fit so well with Noel's thoughts. And just one overview point. I want to make 5 points today, and that's 1 minute for each point, Brigitte. I know that. But just one overview point. When you have a seminar like this, and we all do so many of them, we tend to generalize because you have to, but one of the points I think Noel made, this is a very complicated issue. And all we can do at this moment is touch on it. So when we get complicated charts and detailed information in 5 seconds, we don't catch it. And that's why I want to make a shout out for the seminar that Thomas talked about at the end of September, the time event, where there will be a real opportunity to explore these issues in much greater detail. So with that, 5 points, and you wouldn't be surprised if I don't start by saying the climate crisis, which nobody has really touched on today, is far and away the biggest challenge facing our entire world, including Bali, including Indonesia, and maybe particularly because some of the consequences, which is, in simple terms, extreme weather events, these are going to change everything that we have known in the past. And it's not just a change to regenerative tourism or pro tourism. It's a change to human life on the planet. And this is what the scientists are telling us. And there are no good signs out there, nothing. The best we can do, because there's a blanket around the earth and it takes 100 years to get rid of, and we've put it there. And it's producing forest fires, it's producing floods, it's producing, and the worst that have ever been seen, the worst weather events that have ever been seen. And we can't take it off the top of our agenda. And at Sunex Malta, the small NGO that I'm running, we never will, because it's our raison d'etre and it's for our kids. If we care about our kids, we have to change the way we're doing stuff completely. Second point, small islands are in the firing line. Probably the least responsible, but the most exposed and the last in the line to get any help. And Bali is an important player in this respect because it's a global tourism icon. And I'm not speaking just for Sunex here, but you referenced it, Birgit. In 2014, I co-led with Terry DeLacy from Victoria University a major study of a green growth strategy for Bali, which was commissioned, Thomas, by our friend Gerd Adika, the late Gerd Adika, and which had even Stevie Noakes as part of the team. So there's a lot of this, and you know, it's a 200-page study, and it took 6 months to produce, and it was never ever implemented because the government changed, and this came out of the previous government. So what I wanted to do, and I don't know if I can do this, I'm not so clever with my screen here. I have a screen share that I can show you, if I can share my screen for 1 minute, and because it's, if I can do it, it's neat. Can you see that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, this, what I'm showing you here is what I'm not showing you here is the final conclusions of this study, which we actually put into not a traditional organization chart, but a Balinese temple. And there are dozens of unviewed recommendations on reducing greenhouse gas, upgrading infrastructure, capacity management. It's all sitting there. And this is that goes to the point that you were making, Birgit. It's built on the local community, on Tri Hita Karana sustainable development. We researched that. We had focus groups with local residents and visitors. We had 8 focus groups, which we organized with the university in Bali. So it's there, and you know, I'm going to repeat this point, but at the end of the of my comments, we will focus a day on this during the Time Conference, a plan B for Bali Tourism, which actually starts now, as it was not then, by putting climate into the agenda. So I now want to make my third point. Tourism is an important part of the climate equation. 8 to 10% of emissions, and totally built on predictable benign weather, which is no longer the case. We have the
yang komplain kenapa saya visi saya Pak 5 hari, tapi saya 2 harinya dipotong
somebody should mute their microphone.
Excuse me, mute yourself. Okay, I did mute him. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead, please.
Sorry, Reza, let me go back to that point. We have the Glasgow framework, and everybody's talking about it. There's a kind of establishment support around this initiative. It's not enough. It's just a starting point. We have to go further, and we have to go faster. The Glasgow Declaration talks about net zero 2050 and halving by 2030. And it leaves out the most important recommendation of the IPCC, which was to peak emissions by 2025. We have to peak emissions by 2025. And that's left out because that's the tough thing. That's the hardest thing of all. But we're not talking about starting a new product or building a new tourism resort. We're talking about the future of humanity. Existential means exactly that. The fourth point, at Sunex Malta, we stand for education and action, and we're trying to put our money where our mouth is. We've started a postgraduate diploma in climate-friendly travel. We have nearly 100 graduate students this year, and we are putting them in charge of national chapters around the world, and we will be putting one in Bali. And we are starting a new climate-friendly travel club, which will reach out to travelers themselves with what we think is an innovative, cost-saving way to compensate for their travel carbon. Why? Because offsets, which is what the whole industry is relying on, keep polluting and pay somebody somewhere to make you feel better. No, we say you can compensate for your travel carbon with a benefits club. And we know we have over 200 hotels on our registry who are ready to give benefits to travelers. And there will be no cost involved to travelers for this. They won't have to click a button on a website alongside another button that says, if you want an extra piece of baggage, click here. If you want to reduce your carbon, click here. If you want to sit next to the person who you're traveling with, click here and pay, pay, pay. We think there's a better way and a better way for travelers. And my final point, I repeat, we look forward to exploring these climate issues in a one-day session at the Time Conference later in the year, where we will explore a plan B for the climate-friendly travel future of Bali. And we hope to do this with many of you who are here on this call. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Again, yes, I alluded to that. Very critical and very broad perspective, which we need to always consider. That brought back to me the ideas of the key words that I always ask. Why are we doing things? How are we doing things? What are we doing? Who's doing what? Where are we doing it? And importantly also, when are we doing something? When are we looking at it? So thank you very much for that concluding presentation there. I think we have finished with all the speakers for the time being. And I just want to touch base again with Eka and Riza, how we would like to proceed, because we have now a bit of time for Q&A, I think. Is that right, Riza?
Yes, of course we have. What I'm sharing, I think you can see it, is our webinar on the 8th of June next week, bad tourist behavior. So I think that's really related to Bali tourism as well. So you can find more information next week, tomorrow on our website.
Eka, do you want to say something at this point in time? I know you're going to do the concluding points right at the end. Perhaps someone from the speakers would like to add something, or we have someone who is listening live who would like to tune in and pose some questions. Perhaps, Riza, you can see waving hands somewhere. A green hand somewhere.
Birgit, yes, Gusti.
Yes, Gusti.
Yeah, Birgit, thank you very much, and all speakers. It's very valuable to me to join this international symposium. Yeah, Dr. Reza also, Dr. Eka, and all speakers. So very great time to be here with you all, and thank you for all of the input for tourism of Bali on behalf of government as well, because I am also now the expert team of tourism expert team of Governor of Bali. So once again, thank you very much, and see you again on the 8th. It's very interesting, Dr. Reza, the title. For sure, I will come.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you. Forward to that.
Well, Brigitte, can I say something?
Please go ahead, of course.
Yes. I myself would like to thank you very much for being here with you all. On behalf of the chairman of the Asita Bali, I would like to inform you as well that we Asita Bali going to have a big international tourism event that take place in Bali from 14 to 17 of June this year. That will be the 9th event. It's called Bali and Beyond Travel Fair, or BBTF. So you may check on our website www.bbtf.co.id. So this year event, they're going to be around 350 buyers from the 51 countries join to our event for both online and offline. And there will be about 230 exhibitors from 11 provinces of Indonesia, as well as we have exhibitors from other countries, such as from Italy, from China, from Malaysia, as well as from United States. So hopefully for next year event, all of you able to join with BBTN. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. I'm sure, Jürgen, that will be something that you can advertise on W2N. I'm not sure whether you're in contact with that. Sounds like something to do. Right. Anybody else from the panel here? Otherwise.
Yes. Good morning again, Birgitta. And I would like to thank you for your moderation and Mr. Sultani for organizing this great webinar. And I want to thank all the responsible persons from Bali Tourism Promotion Board. It was really informative. I only have suggestions. What Mr. Jürgen said is absolutely right. Bali is a luxury product. It's a niche market. We here in Saudi Arabia, you know, we had a VIP travel club, and our King Salman visited Bali during the visit to Malaysia and Indonesia. And a lot of people are, you know, excited to visit Bali, but actually there is not enough information with the travel agent in Saudi Arabia. And I have a suggestion. Usually during Hajj flight, a lot of pilgrims, they come the biggest from Indonesia, about 240,000. The flight go empty. Then this could be packaged with Bali and other destinations in Indonesia. And I think there will be a very big market. But what I suggest here, perhaps with Mr. Jürgen, he invited me to come to the event in September. As I said, we are organizing the Islamic tourism event in KL from 13 to 15. So perhaps this would be a good event to participate. But even when I heard now there is a travel fair on the 16th of June, I think we can organize a webinar with our local travel agent, and then they would like to see destination marketing or inbound operator and their packages, and that could be promoted via webinar. Later on, we can to do some workshop and roadshow throughout Saudi Arabia. Thank you so much for a great presentation. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Saeed, for your comments there. And I couldn't agree more. Again, actually, Bali and Indonesia is a beautiful country for everybody to come. I know I was there about 4 years ago meeting my Emirati family. They came from Dubai, I came from Australia, and we met in Bali in Jakarta, and we had a wonderful time. So the promotion of that particular connection and acceptance of culture from that perspective. Culture is multi-diverse. We won't go into that today, but I think it's an important one. It is an attraction that actually Bali and Indonesia has per se. So thank you very much for that, Saeed. Anybody else for any comments, please? We still have some time, do we not?
Yes, I raise my hand. I'm from Serbia. Good morning from Belgrade. My name is, you can see, Snežana Štetić, and thank you for all informations you share with us and excellent presentations. And there are many issues which we can discuss also in September when we have our conference organized by World Tourism Network. We in World Tourism Network know that, as Jürgen said, the niche tourism is very important. Special forms of tourism we know are very important for the future of tourism. But what I would like to stress is education, because many of you said about something about education, about tourism behave badly, which we know, and we think in WTN that we have to discuss about education. We have a separate we are thinking about it to educate everybody in tourism, to educate tourism organizations, tourism network completely, to educate tourists as well, because tourists are traveling to different countries not knowing, as you said before, anything about the culture, anything about the people. And actually they don't behave according to the culture of the destination they are going to. And because of that, it is very important. For example, here in Belgrade, I always teach my students that first of all, they have to see the culture, to read about the culture of the people and the history of the people of the and history of the country they're traveling to. So these are just a few issues I would like to say, and hope that you're coming in September to our conference of World Travel Tourism Network in Bali, and then that we can discuss about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. And may I also call you Snow White? I think that's how you're going to refer to you.
Yes.
I know you from those webinars as well. Education, I think, is a big one, and I think you make the point that we need to educate certainly the tourists, and that's a challenge because we're dealing with a mindset and also something called touristhood, which Jafar Jafari referred to way back, so more than 30 years ago, and that is very entrenched now in our culture. We're living in very entitlement culture, so that is actually where the challenge is. But also the tourism industry needs to be educated, including the ones that are actually selling travel and tourism. When I get exposed to travel agents and so forth, and I possibly I want to have discussions about what we discussed today, I get blank faces. And the focus is always, how do we make money out of it? And I think there is a need for education about all of that. So that's just my personal perspective and my experience, because having worked in industry, but also education, academia, and so forth, a big agenda, and I look forward to that particular day when I'm also there in September. Again, anybody else would like to comment?
Yes, I see two more hands. Ms. Kholoud, please.
Yes. Kholoud?
Hello, welcome. I'm Kholoud from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. My voice is clear?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so I totally agree with Miss if I couldn't hear her name, the one was speaking right before me, that we should really educate everybody who will visit everywhere about like, it's not studying the culture where they're visiting, but just have headlines about it, you know? What's good to do, what's not good. That's the first thing. And the second thing, I agree with Mr. I think Muhammad from Saudi Arabia, that like, if we don't have time to manage visiting in the next 2 weeks, so I agree if you can make something for us, like in the online or something like this webinar. It's so nice, and it connects us from all around the world, and it's easier for us to be with you guys.
Thank you.
Kholoud, just to correct, my name is not Muhammad. RHH or Raid Habis. And you are in my group, Best Tour Guides.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know
Good
you.
to
I
see
know
you.
you, Mr. Habis. Yeah. Yeah, nice
Mr.
to meet
Rad
you.
Habis.
So I really agree with him that we really need these webinars to connect between the world. And really, Bali is a very nice destination. I visited twice, once in 2010 and once in 2015. So I saw a very nice improvement between these years, and I'm really sure that if I visit for the third time, I will see much more and nicer improvements. Thank you so much, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. I see one more hand, Sant Emmanuel Maurice, el favor. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody from here. I live in Bali. My name is Emmanuel Morrissey. Appreciate everybody. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I appreciate everybody. I appreciate you, Ms. Bridget, for the opportunity given to me. I'm from Africa. I live here in Bali. So we've been talking about tourism and all of that, which is a very, very important thing to discuss. And so many points have been said, which I appreciate everybody that made a very beautiful contribution and issue about tourism. We know that tourism brings development and all of that to the society at large. So I think my input, I think the government of Bali should look into some things. They should take some things into cognizance, which I'll be talking about the safety of the tourists. So that anybody that is coming into a particular place, their safety should be ensured. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like where some of the places you visit here in Bali, the roads are so bad. So I don't know if the government can come in to take some actions about the road to some of these places of attraction. Like if you've been visiting some of the islands outside Bali, outside the city of Bali, like the Nusa Penida and other places, their roads are so tiny, the roads are so bad that we have so many times you experience casualties on the road. So I'm just suggesting that if the government can come in, the tourism is bringing development and money or something is coming out of it. So if the government can come in to take care or consider making this road accessible, so that when the tourists are coming, their safety will be ensured and they will go back with a testimony to come back again for the second time. You understand what I'm saying? So, and then they see ports too. Sometimes you hear of casualties or you see videos of casualties of people traveling to an island using a smaller boat and their boat is capsizing and all of that, thinking just in the middle of the sea. There are so many casualties like that. So I'm just suggesting, there are people who should check the wave when the wave or the tide is very high, and then they don't have to go through the sea. So if the wave is so high, they can stay back because I know they use little boats to cross the sea to another island, so which is causing so many casualties. So if the government, I'm just suggesting, if the government can make provisions for a bigger ship, or they should consider when the wave is very okay for people to go through the sea, wherever they are going to, so that we can ensure the safety of tourism or tourists that are coming into Bali. We have to ensure their safety 100%. So that when they go back, they will tell others that Bali is a nice place, which we all know. I live in Bali. Bali is a very nice place. But we have to consider the safety of the tourists that are coming in. And somebody said something that you don't have to limit people that are coming in. That's a very good point. Anybody that wants to come into Bali should come, as long as they are eligible to come in. They have all the documents, all the requirements, and all of that to come in from immigration. As long as they are very clear, they should come in. And then the codes of conduct should be undertaken at the point of entry, where whoever is coming in there are things we should let this person understand that, okay, these are the things you should know about where you're coming to, which is Bali, you're visiting the Bali, the culture, and all of that. So these things should be taken into cognizance. Just like I said, safety is very, very important. Not just coming in and you're going back wounded. So many casualties. Some people are losing their lives in the sea and stuff like that. So I think safety, if we are considering peace in the land, I think we should consider safety as well. And there are.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I have to stop you if you don't mind. So,
yes, okay.
Because we are really running out of the time. Thank you so much. The next, maybe Miss Windy Yang, please. And maybe the last one, yeah.
Om Swastiastu. This is Windy. I'm talking now from Taipei, Taiwan. I would like to inform all of you that SCO International Asia, we are having the annual Congress right now in Bali, and then holding in the Melusaka in Nusa Dua. And we have the leaders from the global tourism industry. I would like to comment to today's is a compliment to all of your performance, especially our, I would say, moderator, Birgit, very good. And all these speakers, we have really focused on the problem and also to the future. And as tomorrow will be the General Assembly of our SCO Asia Congress. So I think maybe some of you, I know Stegen Jürgen is our colleague. I hope you can also join, maybe online as well. This is, I think, very important organization in the tourism industry. So I hope that you will make very good use of it. And then surely we have a lot of travel agents, very powerful tour operator, will bring in many, many positive tourists into Bali. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. SCO, International Organization of Friendship, I believe.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
I just want to add, just thank our colleagues from Singapore Tourism Board that are here, and the Dubai Tourism Department, also from the Ministry of Tourism, that are here. Thank you so much, and the colleagues here. Thank you. Yes, Bridget, please.
I think, as you just mentioned before, we are running out of time, and we might have to call in Dr. Ecker, please, again, to conclude the session for today, and perhaps run another one another time. Over to you, Ecker.
Thank you, Dr. Bridget, as a moderator for this symposium on 2nd of June. And now I would like to conclude of our symposium. I think our note here about the 20, but I'm sure that Dr. Gusde and Mr. Putu already take note for all of the input and ideas from participants and speakers. And as we know, Pak Gusde as an expert of tourism for Bali Governor, and Pak Putu as the chairman of ASITA, and already mentioned about the event in Bali, Bali and Beyond Travel Fair. And I just mentioned the keyword of our symposium today, Bali as a tourist destination, on our development concern on Bali as a brand of Bali Tourism. Bali as a brand, the name of Bali. And then in every development of Bali is a culture base. And next, sustainable tourism destination, you talk about the issues on carrying capacity, land use problem, the behavior tourist lack of the Balinese culture, transportation model not support yet to all tourists, and about the land use planning. And then next, improve type of tourism activities and attraction as alternative tourism for Bali, culinary tourism, regenerative tourism, quantum tourism, wellness tourism, green tourism. And then crave partnership and network, not focused to over tourism, but we are focused to quality tourism with all stakeholders support. And 6, we take note for law enforcement to maintain Bali as a favorite destination and peace destination, minimize bad tourist behavior. And 7, SMAs for small niche market. It is a big opportunities for Bali to maintain our economic in Bali. And number 8, as a small island with a green growth 2050 as Bali roadmap of tourism, still based on Triheta Karana concept. And 9, Bali is open for international market with the uniqueness and attraction, with the international standard of services, and then we implement all of them with the excellent services to tourism industries who come to Bali. And then 10, Mr. Lippman mentioned about a plan B for the climate change in Bali. And then 11, from Dubai, we take note that we need a promotion connection between Bali and Dubai. And last, tourism education, to educate everybody in tourism sector. I think there are a lot of the input and ideas which already shared at the chat room. And I think this symposium already been recorded, yeah, and then we can share to participants in the next days. I think thank you for sharing. Is there any question or from Reza maybe or Bridget before I close the webinar?
Well, we have recorded, and the recording will be edited, and from tomorrow will be on our website, tourismwebinar.com, including all the PowerPoints and the profile of all the speakers. And so you can go and see, and you can also contact any speakers if you want.
Okay.
I'd just like to conclude. I've just been looking through everybody present, and thank you very, very much for everybody around the world tuning in. Fantastic. Perhaps a last word to Taleb, if you would like to say something to on the way out.
Okay.
I think
Reza?
all was said. Thank you so much, Bridget. Thank you.
What a pleasure. Okay, that's it. I think we shall say goodbye.
And I like to thank Bridget for her hard work. She has done a lot also behind the scan, and Dr. Eka as well, and of course, Dr. Taleb Rafai. Steve Knox is not here. Professor Steve Knox, thank you so much, but he helped, and he's traveling now in mountains in near Jakarta, he told me, so he didn't have a good internet. And Peter Simon, he had a bad connection. He's in Nepal. And of course, Jürgen, our good friend, and Mr. Noel Scott, who is traveling now in Portugal early morning. Thank you so much, Scott. You're always with us. Thank you. So thank you. Thank you, Bridget. So if you want to finish, you want to say something?
Well, again, just been my pleasure, and to be part of Tourism Webinar once again. I've been part of this on various occasions, and again, I actually will be a part of that particular next webinar, which is again something that I've addressed in my book. It's about tourist behaviour, and I spoke about to Reza about that about 6 weeks ago, and said perhaps we should run this. And of course, now it's in the news everywhere. So it's about good timing, isn't it? Let's do that, and we all look forward to seeing you there next week in 6 days. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
From Melbourne.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Noel.
See
Thank
you.
you. I know you was
you.
very busy.
We will. Catch you sometime, Noel.
Thank you, Jürgen.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Enjoy your staying in
You're
Mumbai.
going to stay well too. And of course, everybody else.
Taleb,
Best
good
of health
seeing
and
you.
peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.